Luistro ang chairperson po ng Committee on Justice. Cha, please.
Magandang
Madam
umaga
Speaker.
po.
Good morning, DJ Chacha. And of course, kay Manong Ted.
Good
Good
morning.
morning,
Good morning
and
po.
of course to all the viewers and followers of our program today.
Good morning po, Congresswoman. Salamat po sa panahon. Congresswoman, ito nga po, ngayong idineklara na sufficient in form and sufficient in substance, ito pong dalawang impeachment complaints na nakahain po dyan sa Kamara. Ano na pong susunod na proseso?
DJ, no, before we ended our hearing kahapon, before we adjourned, the Justice Committee already issued the notice to the Vice President. That is for her to file her answer within the period of non-extendable 10 days, calendar days. No? Itong sagot ng ating Vice Presidente, aside from they need to be filed to the Justice Committee, copy of which needs to be furnished as well to the complainant. And in that case, from receipt by the complainant of the copy of the answer, they are given a period of 3 calendar days within which to file their reply. No? Dapat i-furnish din nila ang Vice President. And in that case, the Vice President naman, from receipt of that reply, is given as well a period of 3 calendar days to file her rejoinder. Ang tawag natin dito, DJ, responsive pleading. Reason is nagsasagutan sila. From complaint, may answer si VP. From answer, mayroong reply si complainant. And from reply, may rejoinder si VP. No? Ang tawag ko dito, DJ, is step 3. And as a matter of fact, dito sa step 3, dito na rin sinasubmit yung evidence ng both parties, complainant and respondent. And if they have affidavits and counter-affidavits, they need to be sworn in as well before the Justice Committee.
Oo.
When all of these are complete, the Justice Committee under step 3 needs to determine whether or not there's sufficient ground that supports the impeachment complaint. If the answer is in the affirmative, if that is a decision of the Justice members' majority, we go to step 4. Step 4 is the hearing proper. Dito natin tatawagan ang complainant, ang witness, and even the respondent. Maraming nagtatanong, DJ, what if the respondent doesn't show up? What if the Vice President doesn't appear before the Justice Committee? Let us remember that her appearance in the hearing is part of her right to due process. In other words, she has the prerogative. She has the option. She has the choice whether to come or not to come. No? If she doesn't come, it will be interpreted merely as a waiver of her right to be present during the hearing. Pag natapos na lahat ng parties dito sa hearing proper, we go to step 5. In step 5, the Justice Committee will vote on whether or not there is probable cause that supports the impeachment complaint. That is why, DJ, ito ang dahilan, Manong Ted, why I compare the proceeding before the Justice Committee to a preliminary investigation in an ordinary judicial proceeding. No? Para kami mga fiskal, nag-PPI, the quantum of evidence required is probable cause, and whatever the decision is of the Justice Committee in step 5, isusulat namin yan sa committee report. And that committee report is subjected to the approval of at least 1/3 of all the members of the House of Representatives. No? Kung makakakuha siya ng at least 1/3 vote, then that is the time that the Articles of Incorporation, Articles of Impeachment will be transmitted to the Senate for trial.
Wow, well explained. Ngayon mas naiintindihan ko na rin po itong proseso nito nga pong impeachment. Ma'am, yung sinasabi niyo po na bibigyan ng 10-day period si VP Sara para nga po makasagot. Kailan po magsisimula yan? Kailan po ba niya matatanggap ito pong notice? Notice po galing sa Kamara. Oo.
Yeah, alam mo kasi sa law school tinuruan kami ng pagbibilang eh. Exclude the first, include the last. I don't know really what's the policy of the House in counting. Kasi I observe parang iba no? Parang pag nilabas mo siya ng March 5, March 15 and 10th day niya. Something like that. But I will double check that. In law kasi, you exclude the first, you include the last, no? So, it's like, what's this? March 5, so ilalabas mo siya March 5, exclude the first, start ka ng March 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Pares pala. March 15 pa rin yung 10th day niya, no? So, the counting should start on March 6. Pero I understand it will be served to the Vice President today, March 5.
So ngayon po isuserve March 15, inaasahan na matatapos yung 10-day grace period ni VP
Yes.
Sara Duterte. Pero para lang din po sa mga nakikinig, kasi dalawa, di ba, yung pinagdaanan, sufficient in form and then sufficient in substance. Na-explain na po last time ni Kong Joel Chua kung ano po yung sufficient in form. Paano naman po tinitignan ng komite kapag sinabi nating sufficient in substance? Kasi sabi niyo po kanina, parang lumalabas, ano lang kayo preliminary hearing kung ikukumpara po natin para kayong mga piskalya. So dito po ba sa sufficient in substance, may mga tinitignan na rin tayong ebidensya?
Well, we are just looking at the face of the impeachment complaint, including the attachments, no? Pero if you will consider the rule, in verbatim, as sabi dyan, there is sufficiency in substance if there is a recital of facts that constitute an offense determinative of the ground of impeachment, no? Ang tinutukoy dong offense is the specific actions of the respondent which are contrary to law. And then ang sinasabing determinative of the jurisdiction of the committee, these specific acts must constitute any, some, or all of the grounds for impeachment. And of course, we have to understand, pag sinabi natin grounds for impeachment, may enumeration dyan ang Constitution. And the enumeration is exclusive in nature. Yun lang. You cannot go beyond. Ano ito? A culpable violation of the Constitution, betrayal of public trust, treason, bribery, graft and corruption, and other high crimes, no? And another important thing here, DJ Chacha, no? Itong offenses or specific acts or allegation of facts, dapat makonect mo to dito sa ground for impeachment. Ito yung tinatawag nating factual nexus. You have to establish the ground between the offenses and the ground, no? The impeachable ground. The impeachable offenses with the impeachable ground. Dapat ma-establish yan. Dapat makonect mo yan. Otherwise, you cannot say that that is sufficient in substance, no? But indeed, the determination are confined only to what appear in the impeachment complaint and the attachments therein. DJ?
Okay, so tama po ba yung pagkakaintindi ko? At dito, ang tinitignan ay kung dapat ba, karapat dapat bang imbestigahan yung mga allegations muna kay VP Sara? Yun lang po.
Well, ang tinitingnan natin is the sufficiency in substance, kung may sapat bang
Basehan.
offenses at ground for impeachment na na-allege doon sa impeachment complaint.
Yun,
No?
Opo. So kaya na po tayo tutunghay ngayon after ituhong kaninyong step na ito para po sa sagot, kontrasagot at rejoinder na inaasahan natin kung magkakaroon na po ng formal na pagdinig. Doon ba sa formal na pagdinig po, Madam Chair, meron bang subpoena powers doon ang komite?
Actually, Madam Ted, I'm inclined to believe that as early as now, the Justice Committee can exercise already its power of compulsory process, no? Alam mo to, alam ko nag-aral ka din ng batas eh. This includes subpoena duces tecum if you want to compel the production of documents, and subpoena ad testificandum if you want to compel the attendance of witness before the Justice Committee. So my answer to that, yes, meron na, but I think it's not only during the hearing proper. As early as now, meron ng compulsory process ang Justice Committee.
Opo. Ma'am, is that your opinion o kinakailangan, yan bang inyong sinasabi ngayon na yan ay inyong opinion at yan ba'y kinakailangan pa munang pagbotohan ng majority members of the committee or magkaroon muna kayo ng deliberasyon before nyo yan gawin? Yan ba'y nasusulat sa inyong rules, ma'am?
The reason why I am saying this is because we have to understand that Justice Committee is a collegial body.
Mm-mm.
As such, the only way to decide is by way of the majority vote. So, in significant occasions and decisions to be done,
Mm-mm.
I make it as a practice that we do it by way of collegial body. No?
Opo.
So, to your question, ito bang exercise ng compulsory process dapat idaan sa botohan? I think yes, because this is a collegial body and I cannot decide alone.
Opo, and we sincerely appreciate, ma'am, with the way you handled itong nagdaan ng mga hearing, para po sa pagbibigay ng chance sa lahat ng mga miyembro na magsabi ng kanilang kaisipan at saloobin. So dito hong binabanggit nyo na puder ng komite na magsubpina ng mga tao, mga dokumento, hindi yan nasusulat talaga sa inyong impeachment rules po, ma'am?
Well, actually, hindi siya ganon kadetalyado, no?
Mhm, mhm.
But the reason why I am aligned to maintain that position is because of the fact that this is not the decision of the chair only. This is not the decision of one member only, which is being considered in the Justice Committee.
Mm-mm.
Here, it is always the rule of the majority.
Okay. And kayo ho ba, ma'am, as committee chairman ay pwedeng bumoto?
No. And nakadalawang botohan na kami, 4 na pala, because originally we had, no, 6 actually. 6 na beses nang bumoto. Because during the determination of sufficiency in form, 4 pa sila. 'Di ba?
Opo.
Sa determination of sufficiency in substance, 2 na lang sila. So total of 6 voting already. Hindi pa po ako nagkaroon ng chance na bumoto because I know for a fact I am not allowed to vote except in cases of tie.
Ayun, opo, klaro yan. So, ma'am, dito po sa usapin po ng mga, hindi sa pinangungunahan po namin ano po ang mangyayari, pero doon po sa mga aligasyon tungkol po sa mga SAL-N issues na ito. Doon po sa mga aligasyon po ng umano ay hindi maipaliwanag na yaman, dyan ho, ma'am, talaga, pwede na pong umiral ang poder ho ng komite para mismo mga bank records na ito vis-a-vis the bank secrecy law, gagaya po sa impeachment court, pwede na pong manaig ang poder ng komite ho dito sa pagsusupina ng mga ganon?
I believe yes, Manong Ted, no? Kasi if we will look into the provisions of the bank secrecy law and other related laws, ang sinasabi dyan, the exception to the protection that is provided by the bank secrecy law is during impeachment cases or impeachment proceedings. The law is silent whether it refers to the Justice Committee or to the Senate trial. And we should be reminded by our principle in statutory construction. When the law does not provide, we should not provide. When the law does not distinguish, we should not distinguish. And by impeachment proceeding, by impeachment case, that includes the proceeding that is happening before the House of Representatives through the Justice Committee.
Opo, opo. And in case po na naman, ito'y questionin po ng panig po ni VP Sara, yan po ay kanilang karapatan na naman kung sakasakali.
Yes, definitely. As a matter of fact, they can go to the Supreme Court at any stage of the proceeding at karapatan nila yan. We cannot do anything about that. But we are hopeful and positive that with the degree of caution that we are exercising today, including all the justice members, I hope that the Supreme Court this time will uphold the impeachment proceedings.
Okay. Ma'am, yung pong mga testimonya ng mga testigo po dito, no? Yung pong usapin ng kanilang seguridad. Kasi po malaking bagay yan, no? Yung lakas na loob ng mga testigo po dito kung sakasakali. Ang komite ho ba may poder din tungkol po sa pagbibigay sa kanila ng seguridad dito?
I think yes, Ted. As a matter of fact, we've done that before during the Quadcom investigations and even, I think, during the good government inquiry also, no? Na if there is a motion coming from the complainant at na-substantiate nila yung threat or danger which is posed to the life of the possible witness or the witness in this impeachment complaint, we will be acting on that motion in a way that we will be bringing to the custody of the witness, like for example in the case of Ramil Madriaga, from the BJMP to the HREP, but that is of course with the consent of the concerned agency, which is the BJMP.
Opo. And again, subject to the approval nga po sa mayorya ng mga miyembro ng komite. So kapag pinag-usapan natin dito ang testigo, pati po mga dokumento, pati po yung mga dokumento na actual na sinumite ng Office of the Vice President o maging sa tanggapan po ng DepEd doon sa mga pinaggastusan ng confidential fund at yung mga kontrata doon sa mga safe houses, doon po sa mga pangalan, sa mga voucher na tumanggap po ng pera ng gobyerno, yun po, maisusumpi na po nyo yan at sa usapin po ng paglalantad sa publiko kasi po ito'y public hearing, paano kaya yon?
Yes, we can issue subpoena duces tecum in as far as the COA documents are concerned, no? And for purposes of authentication, we can subpoena as well. Whoever is the custodian of this COA documents, for them to identify before the Justice Committee that they are genuine documents of the Commissioner Audit.
I mean, AI can now